7 mistakes people make when quitting their job to start a business. If you want to avoid these mistakes, stay tuned. 99% of business failures when people just go out and start a business is due to lack of planning and entrepreneurial experience. What does that mean? That means that they're used to the employee life. When you're working at a job, you have a stable income coming in every single week, 2 weeks, every month. When you quit, you take that income away. And if you haven't prepared and stashed either a lot of cash, like how many months can you go without bringing in any money? Because just because you start a business doesn't mean you're going to instantly bring in money and that it's guaranteed. In fact, it may take you 3 to 6 months to make money. In my opinion, before quitting your job, to just make a leap. 1, have a savings of at least, I would say, a year. But a minimum of 6 months so that you can last without an income coming in. 2, I recommend you actually start your business as a side hustle if you can, like if you're selling something online or doing a service-based business such as lawn care or pressure washing. Do it on the side of your full-time income, and then once that income of the side hustle, if you can grow it enough and maybe hire an employee, gets maybe double or enough to support you and take income out of it to support your personal life and fit that job income, then leave the job. So that's reason number 1. People quit their job before they're actually prepared. So before you leave that resignation letter on your boss's desk, you better make sure you're ready and that you've got some savings and that you actually have an income already coming in. The second mistake people make when quitting their job to start a business and on top building off of that first mistake is that they start with what instead of who. Like, what can I sell? What can I flip? What can I do? Instead of, you got to have the mindset of who can you serve? Who can you help? If somebody's searching for something, searching for a pressure washing company, that's who I can serve. You see what I'm saying? The biggest secret of starting a business is it's not going to be about you and what you think. It's about who you can serve and help. If you provide value to somebody, you're paid in proportion to that value. Jeff Bezos made Amazon to make a better shipping system and a better logistics company. He didn't go, I just want to make a business called Amazon just because, it's a cool idea. He did it because he had in his mind he could help people get packages to their house delivered same day or 2 days instead of 5 to 7 to 14. And he got paid in proportion to that value. Elon Musk is getting paid in proportion to his value. He wants to fly to freaking Mars, you know what I'm saying, and make electric vehicles for everybody. You're paid in proportion to the value you provide to the world. Start by finding your market. Then develop your product and service based on what the market is demanding. Number 3, a self-defeating mindset or depression. Entrepreneurship is hard, okay? If you go out here and you cut off your guaranteed income from your job, and then all of a sudden you got to make the income, and then this leads into my next mistake is that not having a support system as well. It's hard, man. You're going to suffer sometimes. You might not even bring an income for a month sometimes. Like in my trucking incident, I got hit and had to wait on parts for 2 months. That's 2 months without income. If you have limiting beliefs, like if you don't think you're good enough or you can't do this, you need to have a support system, which leads me into my 4th mistake, is not getting the support you need, whether that's through a therapist or your wife or your children or your parents. Entrepreneurship is very difficult, and if I'll give you an example of what my spouse used to do and doesn't anymore because I made it a point, is that, I used to get told that's not realistic. You have to work a job. That's not realistic. And that is like the worst thing you could tell somebody that wants to do their own thing, right? It's like, how do you know it's not realistic? Just as an example, try to join a local community of entrepreneurs, like on Facebook pages is a good place to be. That can be a huge advantage, but it's important to note this data. Entrepreneurs are 2 times more likely to suffer from depression compared to regular full-time employees. So getting the support you need is absolutely essential. And the biggest thing you can do is try to find people that are trying to do the same thing and just support each other that way. Maybe have an accountability partner. But finding a mentor, for example, and I'm not talking about the guys that are just out to take your money, and they don't really help you. They might help you for a month or so, and then they don't continue talking to you or providing value to you. So at the start of a business, this leads into my fifth mistake, is failing to prioritizing what you need to do. Now, the difference between being an employee, you just have one role. Like you go in, let's say you're running a milk machine to fill milk into jugs of milk, right? Like at a factory. Your job is to go in, fill the milk, and then at 5 o'clock, you go clock out and you go home. That's all you have to do. You don't have to worry about anything else, right? When you're an entrepreneur and you start your own business, especially at the start of it, you're responsible for accounting, actually doing the job or making the product and selling it. You're in charge of sales, getting sales. You wear every hat you can think of, okay? Like in a job, you can kind of like people, they blame other people for something like, oh, the shipping department went down and I couldn't run my milk, right? You can't do that in entrepreneur. It's all on you. If you don't go out and knock on some doors to sell your product, guess what? You don't get no sales if that's how you're selling your product. Something you can use to your benefit is something called the 80-20 principle. What can you do that takes 20% of the effort to get 80% of the results? It's a very cool principle, and I may make a video later down the line. And also a book called The One Thing has helped me as well. But the 80-20 principle will help you out on your entrepreneurial journey. Sixth mistake is not having the right tools in place. And what does that mean? There are tools out there like Zapier, Buffer, like different apps you can use to kind of take the weight off of you. It will automatically do things that you need to do, such as say you post on Facebook or say you post on YouTube. You could use Zapier to automatically, when you make a post and Buffer together, it will, when it posts, it can put that in the buffer queue, and then 6 months, 12 months later, automatically post that again and get new eyeballs on it. Does that make sense? There's different tools kind of like that out there, or automatically tracking expenses, or automatically saving. Any income comes in, it puts 20% in a savings account. I think it's called Capital, the app Capital. And I'm not sponsored in any way by these apps, just apps that I have used. Capital will, if you have income come in, you have to set aside at least 20% for taxes. So I'll have it automatically take that out of anything that comes in. That way I'm covered. You may not pay that full 20%, but after you pay your taxes, you can take out any extra that's in there, right? So outsourcing is also a great way you can do this. You can go to websites like Fiverr and Upwork and have them write your ad copy, make YouTube thumbnails, edit videos, deal with customer support, pay them hourly. You can pay them as a contractor. You can bring them on full time. That's just a good place to go to start having the right tools, if you will. So technology such as Zapier and Buffer has helped create the most millionaires in the 21st century. You don't have to be the person making the technology. It's about taking the technology that's out there and applying it to your processes, right? To make things faster, to make them automatic. That way, such as when somebody calls in and they get for my service-based business in pressure washing, they will go and I've outsourced my 24/7 call center. They'll get them and they can schedule it. It'll go into my systems, and I will just look on the schedule, and it's like, oh, I got a job today. I got 3 jobs today. All right, I know what I'm doing today. I wake up at like 5 o'clock. The 7th biggest mistake that people make when starting businesses, especially when they're leaving their jobs, is not having sales and marketing experience, okay? And you might be like, well, I kind of know what sales is, but what's marketing? Okay, marketing is, as an example, like say you make a website to like sell a product or two, right? There's 1.74 billion websites out there, and there's more being made every day. I'm having one made right now, okay? Your chances of getting searched as a brand new website are next to none. So you need to know, you need to know sales, like if you're doing door-to-door sales, or if you're driving around with a magnet on your car with a QR code and they scan it and it goes there, that's one way, right? Marketing, and that's a form of marketing, the magnet on the door and all that good stuff. Marketing can be like SEO, YouTube is a form of marketing, marketing for your company. Just keep this in mind. Unless you learn how to outmarket and outsell your competitors and grab that attention from potential prospects going to buy your service or product, you're not going to have customers lined up outside the door or outside your CRM, right? The mistake of not learning sales and marketing gets compounded by the fact that as an employee, you are unlikely to learn any of these skills at all unless you actually have a 9-to-5 job in said roles of sales and marketing. If I had to learn one skill before I had to quit my job like it was a requirement, it would be sales and marketing. I mean, you can do just about anything with sales and marketing. Ty Lopez is a marketer. Grant Cardone is a marketer. Donald Trump is one of the biggest marketers of our time. He made people come out under rocks to go vote for him, which is insane. People in other countries still can't believe that he became president. Okay, and we're not getting political in any way. It's just fact. He's one of the biggest marketers I've ever seen in my time. Everywhere you look is marketing. Pepsi has to market their product. Other brands, Doritos, they use Call of Duty, and Call of Duty uses them to market each other, right? To get their codes to get double the XP or whatever that you see on your Mountain Dews and Doritos, right? So if there's one skill that you had to learn before leaving a job, it's sales and marketing. I mean, flat out, just 100%, that's what you need to learn. That's pretty much the 7 mistakes that I see and know that people make before leaving their jobs. And I just want to tell you the 7 things just to go back over them, and be sure to like and subscribe if you got any sort of value from this video if you're thinking about leaving your job and starting a business of any kind. Number 1, we'll go over the mistakes real quick. Number 1, prepare to start your business before you leave your job. Maybe even start the business before you leave your job. That's what I did, right? Start the business before you leave your job. Go ahead and start building its income so when you leave, you do have income, and also save a good nest egg to last you a few months to pay for bills and such. 2, study your market to determine a product or service that they actually need, if they need a product or service. And 3, have a positive, self-confident mindset, okay? And I don't really know how to teach self-confidence. I'm naturally that way. I just don't care what anybody thinks or says most of the time. So, but just be confident in yourself and be positive with yourself. Don't say like, oh man, I suck. I couldn't do that. I can't do this. Learn to do something. 4, find a support group in your community or in online communities. Online communities are underestimated. We have a Discord. I'll leave the link in the description. It's mostly full of people in the trucking industry, but I hope to grow it beyond that and help people from that group. 5, prioritize the mistakes that needs your attentions and outsource the rest. So you need to prioritize, let's say, your accounting, but you need to outsource your marketing or sales team, or such as the incoming calls I get is outsourced to a call center, right? So I prioritize on the accounting and marketing, and they do all the sales and getting the customer's phone call. 6, use technology tools to your advantage, the ones like Zapier with a monthly subscription. You can automate so much stuff with Zapier. If somebody calls in, Zapier can take all their information and put it on a spreadsheet so you can have them for later to go back like 6 months down the road. Hey, you need your driveway washed again? You know what I'm saying? So use those tools to your advantage. And number 7, the big one, before you leave your job, you must know these skills. I put them kind of together. Sales and marketing techniques to attract customers' attention and stand out from the rest of your competition. Okay? If you look the same as some Jim Bob over at Twally Way, and you guys are doing the exact same posts, the exact same stuff, you're going to be mediocre just like he is, unless, let's say, you hopped on a video and you was like, hey guys, check this out. Check the instant transformation from this driveway. And they're like, oh, get 20% off now. Hit the call now button. And they call my customer support system. As a final remark, I know a lot of people might not have watched this full video. It's going to be one of my longer ones, but it's going to be one of the most value-rich videos I've ever produced, I think. pursue your dreams, quit your job, but do it the right way, okay? It's very important not to just follow this resignation era and just quitting your job and being like, I'm going to start a business. In the end, it will be worth it to quit that 9-to-5 job, especially if you hate it, to start a business. You can make exponentially more money, and there's way more loopholes for taxes and such, and then you can grow it into a big business and eventually become an investor. I follow Robert Kiyosaki's advice a lot. But that's all I have. Hopefully you got value. And if you've watched to the end, I do appreciate you so much. Please do hit the subscribe button. I want to, 10 years down the road, hopefully still be doing this and have the same people watching, and we've all grown extremely wealthy and have got what we want out of life. You know what I mean? That's what my YouTube channel is all about. I'm going to try to cut it off. I keep talking. But comment down below if you've watched to the end, prepared. Just type prepared or something like that, and I appreciate it. Just help the algorithm, and also letting me know you watched to the end. But thanks anyway. Peace out. Let me know what you got out of this video, and I will see you next time here on Jay's Side Hustles.